we're going. I don't know how many of you got a chance to attend our boat show, which we called the Great Resource Giveaway. Because not only does New Brunswick give away its resources for free, we actually pay people to take away our resources. The motto of New Brunswick should be, we will not be undersold. If you won't steal our wood, we'll give it away to you at cost. We'll pay you to take it off our hands. Now, we didn't have a lot of people out on both of our shows, but we had a lot of interest. It was funny, when we started this a year ago, people started to give us a little bit of negative feedback once in a while. Because I like to talk about the issue that I know best, corruption and fight corruption. And a lot of people said to us, well, you know, it's not really corruption in New Brunswick. You guys think what's going on in New Brunswick is corruption? Yeah. Because what we usually say corruption is the misuse of private goods, or public goods for private gain. And the problem is, in other places, politicians make a lot of some public goods. And in Brunswick, we don't even know how to do corruption quite right. So we give away our resources, and even the politicians really don't get anything back for it. Really? There's not that much money to actually be made of it. It usually falls into a couple of projects. You lost me? Okay, great.
There we go.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Charles and I had a roadshows, a great resource giveaway, and we got a little pushback, and people would say things like, well, you know, we like that funny little French fella, and we like Rod Cumberland, because, you know, he's a good old boy. He's a real New Brunswick. But that Bowser guy keeps bashing the Irvings. And well, you know, the Irvings aren't that bad. They give everybody jobs. And what we've been preaching since day one is that the system that's set up in New Brunswick, where one company gets to take all, in the end doesn't provide jobs. So you're losing another 150 more jobs. But what about all those indirect jobs? So the knock-on effects of this is you have an entire region of New Brunswick which is going to spiral even further down. And why? Well, because one company is treated better than everybody else. And the big thing in New Brunswick is you always want to look business-friendly, right? You always want to give handouts to the company and charge less tax than anywhere else in the developed world. A couple of years ago, New Brunswick had the lowest tax rate for corporations in the world. That was supposed to bring lots of benefits. It didn't. Then they started to give away a lot of money to companies to create jobs. 13,000 jobs were supposed to be created between 2006 and 2014. And millions of dollars were handed out to companies to do it. 70 million was handed out to ATCOM. So that really helped things, didn't it? Things are just booming. So I'm sitting here in Ukraine, and my job is to help build up an agency that looks at high-level corruption. We go after ministers, deputy ministers, senior judges. And the reason why I'm here, well, one of the reasons. One is I can't stand Alberta, so I really didn't want to go out there for work. So I came up to a place up quite well, Ukraine. Still on? Okay. Get a bit of feedback. So one of the reasons why we're out here is that they had a revolution last year and a half ago. Because the people got really tired of a small number of people at the top taking everything that was in the entire country. And what they did is gather by the thousands out of the main square, wouldn't leave, even then after the government started shooting them. And 100 of them lost their life. Still people stood on the square and demanded that the government go. Now we're pretty timid on our way. And when we, want to make things change, we're a little bit worried about hurting somebody's feelings, and we don't want to call things, like they are. But if things keep up this way, there's not going to be a New Brunswick left. It's going to be a big empty space where one company is going to be able to take every single resource. And if you look at any aspect of the extractive industries that go on in New Brunswick, whether it's the mining, whether it's the wood, whether it's anything else, the province gets nothing back for it. And in fact, it's left holding the bag. And this has been case after case after case. Right? Shale gas, we will essentially be charged money for the right to give away natural gas. The same thing with the mining. We're asking for a grand total of 1% royalty rates. 4% royalty rates on the manganese. So we're just giving this stuff away. And not that our politicians to get rich off it. There's only the companies that get it. And the only way to stop this, as I said, to keep people mobilized, to get them out there. And it's not going to be Facebook posts or anything else. It's bodies on the street. So you need to get together. You need to start to really push. And you really need to start pushing for change. And when people say that, well, we have to be pro-business and everything else, there's no place less pro-business than New Brunswick. Because at the end of the day, they let one company run the show and dominate the economy. And it's just not bringing jobs. It's not bringing any benefits. You need the government to start to do what it's supposed to be doing, governing, which means having fair competition in the province. If we have fair competition in New Brunswick can be blooming. There's lots of resources, but there's no competition that goes on, right? All we have is monopolies, and that's what brought down this place. It's what brought down other places. You just can't run an economy where one person, one company benefits, and the rest of it gets stuck. So at the end of the day, it's really going to be up to everybody to start putting bodies on the streets and show your dissatisfaction, write letters, and recalling your MPs. The next step is then to look at what can be actually changed. And there's lots of plans out there. Charles and I have been looking at community forestry. We've had a couple of meetings before the election on this. So there's lots of ideas. David Coons, Conservation Council for New Brunswick, developed some very good plans about how to do community forestry. Charles has shown the example of Sacre-Coeur, so there's lots of examples out there, right? So it's about time to go to government and say, let's start doing things different. There's no reason why we have to give everything away for nothing and never bring any prosperity to this province. Because in a couple of years, there's not going to be anything left. And the downward spiral that's going on is not going to have any more easy fixes. You already see what's happening. Schools are closing, hospitals are closing, no services provided. Why would anybody stay in the province? Now, on the topic of P3s, and my mother had to go for a while into the Shannon and Riverview, and there's nothing P3 about those places. It's all private sector. And in fact, I paid for my own pocket for her to go in there, and the fact is, I could have kept her at the Crown Plaza in Moncton for a lot cheaper than to put her in one of the Shannon homes. So they're nice, but they're not exactly 5-star nice. And there's no way in hell that people can actually afford this. So the government not doing its job and saying, well, we'll just hand it over to some company and they'll look after everybody. It's just not going to happen. And that's not really how our social system is supposed to work. So if the government doesn't want to do what the government's supposed to do, then maybe we should stop paying taxes. And then we'll see how quickly government will pay attention on this. Because in the reality, at the end of the day, government is supposed to provide public service, and it's everywhere in the world. If you look at what happened in other places, this is why the Civil War breaks out, because the government doesn't do its job. Yeah, just as soon as you start talking about not paying taxes, all of a sudden the video turns off. No, wait minutes. Yep, I get it, CRR. God bless them. But the reality is, at the end of the day, that something needs to be done, and it needs to get bodies on the street. And this is the only way that we can move forward. And then to start to look at how to do things different. So I don't want to see the bloodshed that happened in Ukraine, but it's time for us to stand up.